In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Ontraport pages. And with a good understanding of the building blocks, you'll be able to design pages that look great and help you get more customers. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing to understand is that pages are actually built up of blocks stacked on top of one another. And these blocks are made up of rows and columns. And within those are elements like images, text, buttons, and forms, and things like that. Now, pages have settings that apply to the whole page, while blocks have settings that apply to only that block. And the same goes for column settings and single element settings. Together, all of these different settings allow you to create just about any page design you can dream up. Let's jump back to page settings. And this will include things like title, background, and SEO settings, which you'll find here, as well as page width, which you'll find over here. Inside that page framework, you'll find blocks. Now, blocks each have their own layout, as well as a bunch of other settings. You can find those settings in block layout mode by clicking on the gear icon next to the block you want to edit. You can change things in here like background, spacing, and some fancy conditional display properties that we're going to get into later. Every block is made up of rows and columns, which you can resize, delete, or add to right here. Your elements fit inside these columns, and in individual columns, you can change the style, including the background, spacing, and more. All right, finally, we're going to talk a little bit about elements, and these are the actual contents of your page. These include things like buttons, text, images, and more. And each element has its own settings as well, depending on the element type. We're going to go through these settings in a later video, but the one important thing to understand is this. Elements live in columns, and columns live in blocks, and blocks live in pages. This means that if you squeeze the size of a page by setting a max width, the blocks inside will be squeezed to fit. So this will make the columns smaller, but it'll also make the elements within it smaller. Elements will always grow to fit the space that they're in. So if you want to shrink an image or text area, you do that by limiting the space. For example, you can shrink an element by making the column thinner. Or you can add space to the inside of a column in the column spacing. Or you can add padding to the element itself in the element position settings here. Each of these settings are used in different situations, and we'll cover those in a little bit, so don't worry about it too much right now. Once you've got your page looking just right, it'll be time to publish it. And there are a lot of different publishing options, which we'll cover in another video. For now, just understand that until you publish your page, it's not going to be on the internet. And if you make changes to your page after you hit publish, they won't appear live on the internet until you republish your page. All right, that's it for our high-level overview of pages. In the rest of this series, you'll learn more about each of these components of a page. We're going to start with pages and blocks, then elements. Then we're going to talk about designing for mobile devices, as well as your publishing options and page personalization, and a whole lot more. Okay, now that you understand the nesting parts of Ontraport pages, that pages are made up of stacked blocks, and that blocks are made up of columns and rows, and that your elements go inside of those, you're ready to dive in and put a page together. So let's get started in the next video on creating a page.